Okay, welcome to Masechet Sukkah. Masechet Sukkah deals, of course, with the topic of building a sukkah, sitting in a sukkah, Chag HaSukkot, all those great things. So, but before we can begin the Masechet, we first have to start with the Psukim. This is from Vayikra, Perek Kaf Gimel. As we always start from the Torah. So the Torah in Perek Kaf Gimel and Vayikra deals with all of the Chagim. Okay, we're not going to read all of the Psukim about what happens Chamisha Asar Yom Chodesh Hashvi, the 15th day of the 7th month. We know that that's Chag HaSukkot. The 15th day of the 7th month is Tishrei. We're going to start with the end, as you see, the end of the section, Pasuk Memben. The Torah says the following: Basukot teshvu shivat yamim. Kol ha'ezrach b'Yisrael yeshvu basukot. In Sukkot you shall sit for 7 days. Kol ha'ezrach, all of the citizen b'Yisrael, in Israel, yeshvu basukot. They should sit in Sukkot. Why? Interestingly, so that your generations will know that I sat Bnei Israel in Sukkot, when I took them out of Egypt, I am the Lord your God. Actually, that one shouldn't be highlighted, so we're going to unhighlight it. Okay? So, I'll just point out, and there's a huge machloket. Did God really have the Jewish people sit in Sukkot, in huts? Or was it talking about the Ananei HaKavod, the clouds of glory? Huge machloket that isn't decided by anyone. It's just kind of left out there, open argument, open dispute. But before we can, much of our Masechta, the first 2 chapters of our Masechta, address this question. Basukot teshvu. You should sit in huts. What's a hut? Can I build a tent? I mean, we know if you know what the halacha is, you know what the practice is, you know what the halacha is. But this is nothing obvious. What does it mean by Sukkot teshvu? You should sit in a sukkah. That's the topic of our Mishnah. Okay, so it's interesting to note. The Mishnah talks about Sukkah. Okay, what is a Sukkah? So I'll just tell you. Let's read the Mishnah and then let's see what halacha we can glean from the Mishnah. Okay, the Sukkah she gvoha lemala me'asvim ama psula. Okay, so the Mishnah never talks about what is a Sukkah. Mishnah starts by saying a Sukkah that's 20 amot high or higher is psula, is not kosher. Okay? So what is a sukkah? A sukkah is one second. Rabbi Yehuda machshir. Rabbi Yehuda says, no, that's fine. Okay? And the question of Rabbi Yehuda is, does it have to be, let's look at the Bartunura, the Tanakama says, sukkah dirat arai ba'inan. Okay? The sukkah must function as a dirat arai, a temporary dwelling. How do you know? Because it says, Chag HaSukkot ta'aseh lecha shivat yamin. That's another pasuk we didn't see. It's 7 days. Amra Torah asay sukkah shivat yamim. Make a sukkah for 7 days. And a sukkah that's 20 amot or higher, that's more than 20 amot high, is not a dirat arai. Right? If you look, there's on the Ne'ot Kedumim website. Let me see if I have to make this a little bit smaller. Okay, we'll have to now combine this with that. Okay, on the Ne'ot Kedumim website. Okay, I'm not on Ne'ot Kedumim, I'm on Wikisource. So he has the language of the Mishnah, and there's all these kinds of fun pictures that you can see. Here in the Ot Kedumim, which is actually near where I live in Yad Binyamin, they have the displays of these crazy sukkot that they built. So they built this sukkah that's more than 20 amot high. Now actually, if you'd ask me, is this more than 20 amot? 20 amot, an amot is about 1.5 feet. Is that 30 feet high? I don't know. You have to measure. Nonetheless, that's a sukkah, that's a very large sukkah. Okay, that's a sukkah that's 20 amot high. Let's go back to our Mishnah. Okay, what else? I'm sorry, Rabbi Yehuda machshir. Why does Rabbi Yehuda say it's kosher? Why? Just about sukkah dirat keva ba'inan. Rabbi Yehuda held there's a huge machlok of the Tanaim. He says no, it could be a permanent place. It could be a permanent dwelling. It doesn't have to be temporary. And we'll see the ramifications of that machloket of dirat arai or dirat keva in the Tanaim. Now we paskin the sukkah has to be dirat arai, a temporary dwelling. That's how we paskin. But it was not a done deal in the times of Mishnah. Similarly. If the sukkah is not 10 tfachim high, I mean it's so small that you literally can't dwell in it. You got a picture of that too. Okay, sukkah that's less than 10 tfachim. You literally can't sit in it. It's less than 3 feet. Okay, back to our Mishnah. Or if it doesn't have 3 walls. Or if it's chama, if the sun coming in is more than the shade coming in, then psula, and then the sukkah is psula. The sukkah is not considered kosher for the Chag of Sukkot. So what do we know from it? That the sukkah has to have at least 3 walls. It actually doesn't have to have 3 walls. It has to have at least 2 plus walls. The way they say it, Chazal say, look at the word sukkah. The word sukkah. I'll use the Microsoft Word in here, and then we'll make it very big. Okay, we take the word sukkah. Let's make this, huge, these letters. Okay, the actual word itself, they say, is a great way of seeing how many walls you have. The samech has 4 walls, 1, 2, 3, 4. Kaf, 3 walls. The minimum is 1, 2, 3, 2.5 walls. Okay, we're going to discuss, can this wall be here, or does it have to be here? Nonetheless, the word sukkah tells us how many walls you have to have for the sukkah itself. We also know now that it has to have more tzeil, more shade than chama, than sun. So these are minimum requirements, and we also have to know that it has to be somewhere between 20 amot and 10 tvachim. Sukkah, Mishnah continues. Sukkah yeshana, was it an old sukkah? Beit Shammai poslim, ubeit Hillel machshavi. Beit Shammai say it cannot be an old sukkah. Beit Hillel says it can be an old sukkah. Ve'ezah hi sukkah yeshana, so what is an old sukkah? Kol she'asa'a kodem l'chag shloshim yom. If you made it more than 30 days before the chag, then that's an old sukkah, you can't use it. Aval, but im asa'al l'shem chag, if you did it for the name of the chag, for the purpose of the chag, afilu mitchilat hashana kshera, then even if you built it at the beginning of the year, if you built it 10 months ago, that's okay. So therefore, according to Beit Shammai, Beit Hillel says it's kosher no matter what. As long as I built the sukkah with the purpose, it built a sukkah that fills the requirements. If I built the sukkah and it fills the normal requirements of what a sukkah should be, here you have a sukkah with only 2 walls. So you see this is the corner. You got to go to Od Keduim and see all these things, okay? If I built a normal sukkah, as long as it fulfills the requirements of a sukkah, you're good. Whereas Beit Shammai says, no, that's not enough. It has to be built l'shem mitzvat sukkah. So how do I know you do that? Either I built it within 30 days of the chag, because nobody builds a sukkah within 30 days of sukkah, not l'shem mitzvat chag. Or when I built my sukkah 10 months ago, I had in mind for the chag. But if I just built a hut, and then Sukkot comes and that's enough, and it was filled the requirements, that's not good enough. Okay? Therefore, why? Because Beit Shammai says, Ba'u sukkah lishma. The sukkah has to be lishma, for the purpose of a sukkah. Beit Hillel says, Lo ba'u sukkah l'shem chag. But it's a very interesting question, meaning how do you look at your sukkah that you build? Like, do you look at it, it's just a house, but it's a house that has certain requirements in order to fill the mitzvah? Or is it like a mitzvah item, like tzitzit or something, that it's made for the sake of the mitzvah itself? It's a very interesting machloket about how you view the fulfillment of mitzvot and how you view the actual sukkah itself. All right, we've gone long enough. This is the first Mishnah Masechet Sukkah. We'll stop here and dedicate our learning to the memory of my father, Harav Simcha ben Yitzchak Halman. If you're new to this program, if you have any comments or questions, as always, email me at rspolter@gmail.com. Have a great day.